Hello, how's it going? Just tuck my chair in here, get all comfy. Hear that? Oh, baby. It's time for another Pokemon Wi-Fi Draft League for Scarlet and Violet. It's your boy Jarl. How's it going, everyone? I joined another Wi-Fi Draft League. Hooray! Yay, that's awesome. This time it's under my friend NovaXblader's draft league called the NBBL. As you can see, Nova's Bacon Battalion League. I actually never know. I haven't looked at the logo too much, so I actually didn't realize it had bacon in there. But hey, the tastier the league, the better the league, in my opinion. I'm Canadian, so I like my bacon, alright? Okay. Yeah, and actually just after this, I have my week 1 battle. I've been busy. Very busy, so I'm gonna manage to squeeze this Wi-Fi Draft League in, and we're just gonna win it easy. It's not hard at all. Come on, come on. How hard can it be? It's gonna be hard. There's a lot of very talented, good draft friends in this, so yeah, it should be a good competition, I'd say. Let's start off with some of the rules and whatever. So we're allowed to draft 10 to 12 Pokemon. I was number 1 at the draft, baby, by totally random pick, and what's so funny is that Nova and I were just like, we were like, hey, what's the chances of you getting first draft? And I'm like, the Hacks God, baby. Of course I'm gonna get first place. From a random draw, got first place. It's just that easy, fellas. It's just that easy. This is a lot. Some of these rules are being very similar to how UMPL runs. So we're allowed 3 Terra captains. Points will allow to have for Terras 18, and if you want to make a Terra captain, it's gonna have to be, I think, a Pokemon that's 12 points and under. But if you make that Pokemon who's 12 points Terra Captain, then you use Terra 12 points left. So that means you use 12 Terra points. That means you have 6 left to use for another Pokemon. In this case, I chose 2 Pokemon that were 9 points. As you can see, since I only have 2, I think I feel like I'm feeling pretty good about them. Pretty good about them. In terms of moves, I'm fairly sure. Let's take a look. Because sometimes they're a little bit different. Yeah, so Shed Tail is banned, Last Respects is banned, Revival Blessing is banned, and you can only Baton Pass is allowed. It cannot be used to pass a stat or substitute. And Take Heart is banned on Manaphy, and Sheer Force is banned on Landorus, which it isn't in BBR, because that's why I've been using Sheer Force Landorus baby. Enough about the other league. Let's get started with us. So as you can see down below, this is our team. We drafted first, which is very, very nice. And I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. As you can see, my team's kind of cancerous. It's a little toxic. That's because I just wanted to go all out this season. I felt a lot good in picking a lot better in picking what I specifically want and the diversity that I got, and I got a lot of coverage. I have a lot of hazards users, which is amazing. By a lot of hazards users, I mean just like a lot of stealth rockers, which is good. A fantastic amount of spinners and defoggers, which is fantastic as well. So hazard removal. We got some decent momentum users in full switch, flip turn, and especially U-turn, which is awesome. And we do, I feel like our weaknesses and our resistances and our immunities are quite spread around. As you can see, I have a decent amount of ground weaknesses, but I also have a decent amount of ground immunities, so balance each other out. Otherwise, I feel like we're doing pretty snazzy in terms of all that sort. Now, let's take a look at our draft, shall we? First up, we got my boy, War Machine, the Great Tusk. Now, I didn't know what I wanted first. It was first place. So, I asked my boys in the group chat, shout out to Nuggo, Blakey, Stego, and Banana. And I was just like, boys, you tell me what you guys want. What is a good pick? And they're like, Great Tusk. And I'm like, you're right. Great Tusk does everything. What can this mon not do? Honestly, its speed isn't that great. It's only 87, but this is consistently in OU and the top of OU for a reason. It's super bulky. Besides its special defense, its attack is monstrous and its defense is monstrous. So physically bulky, yes, it's fantastic. It is a Paradox Mon, so paired with a Booster Energy, or if it's in sunlight, it will take advantage of photosynthesis, of course, boosting its highest stat or speed. And its moveset is fantastic. Body Press to take advantage of the defense. You got Bulk Up, You got Close Combat, you got Earthquake, you got Headlong Rush, which is an even better Earthquake at this point. It does more damage, and it's like a close combat. Facade if we get burned or something. We got Heavy Slam to get rid of those fairy types. We got Ice Spinner for those flying types, and to get rid of terrain. We got Iron Head again for those fairy types. We got Knockoff, Make Horn, Play Rough. Like, its coverage is actually insane. We got Smackdown to get a flying type to be grounded, so we can hit him with Earthquake. It's got Stealth Rocks, and it's got Rapid Spin. It does everything. It does everything. It is so good. Roar as well. Supercell Slam for those water types. It's so good. Zen Headbutt for those fighting types as well. Other fighting types and poison types. Taunt, which is nice, and we got some wacky other moves here. But it's surprising. Like, this mon is very good. It's very, very good. And I thought that was a good first round pick. Usually this thing usually goes out first round. So I just thought, hey, try something different. I tend to try something different every draft I do. But keeping it with annoying, we got my boy Chad Fable, the Clef Fable, based off Chad Gable in WWE. Chad Fable. I love Clef, dude. Clef is awesome. Clef does everything. Clef does whatever you need it to do. It's super bulky. This continues with the bulk. Its abilities are fantastic, unaware, so any stat increases that you have, if an opponent is setting up, yeah, we don't care about it, so it's great. Magic Guard is great as well, so we don't take any hazardous damage, or we don't get hurt from Life Orb or Burn or any of that sort of stuff, which is also very good. Stats, I mean, they're mediocre. Like, you look at Clef and you're like, why is this Pokemon so good? It's its diversity. It's what it does. I mean, its bulk isn't too bad. Special attack is pretty good. Speed is nothing to laugh at, but it's just its move diversity that makes it so great. And it's also being a fairy type. So Baton Pass gives us momentum. We got every move under the sun for coverage. Encore to disrupt people from setting up or using some sort of moves that aren't attacking Future Sight, to put a future attack in. It's got Knockoff, which is nice. It's got Screens. It's got Recovery in Moonlight and in Wish. Trick to get rid of, to switch up items. Thunder Wave to paralyze opponents. Store Power to set up with Calm Mind, all that sort of stuff. It's awesome. It's very, very good. And did I also mention to get Stealth Rocks? We have a very Stealth Rock oriented team. Which is fine, because you know what? It gives us options, which is good. I love Clef. Clef has always been amazing. I wanted a Fairy Steel type, Fairy Steel Dragon Core very early on, and I was happy to get some very good ones. And Clef was up there, and a lot of people were upset that I got Clef. They're like, damn it, Clef! And I was like, listen, the king wants what the king wants, okay? Okay? Alright, moving on. Next up, we got Corva Knight. We got L.A. Knight. Yeah! Yeah! Based off LA Knight, the wrestler. Good abilities. Unnerve would be pretty decent if we're up against some teams that might bring some berries for resistance reasons. Otherwise, we'll most likely be using Mirror Armor, just so we don't get any stats lowered. Corva Knight is fantastic. I mean, it's the steel flying type bird that everyone wants and everyone needs, besides Skarmory. If I wasn't going to get this, I'd get Skarmory. I love Skarmory as well. I love them both equally. HP is decent. Defense is what it's known for, of course. It's another physical, bulky mon. Take physical hits, pair it up with like a Rocky Helmet or whatever, and physical opponents will be taking some good damage. Body Press, take advantage of the defense against Brave Bird for stab, Bulk Up and Curse for setup, Defog to get rid of hazards, Home Claws for setup as well, Iron Head and Heavy Slam for stab. On Steel type, it gets Screens, which is fantastic, Tailwind to boost her speed, U-turn for momentum, and Taunt as well, which is great. This mon is fantastic. It does what it needs to do. It just adds to the bulk factor, and Corva Knight is just a very cool Pokemon. Next up, we got one of our Terra Captains. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I don't believe it. And that is our... Why is it not nicknamed? Why is it not nicknamed? Hold on. We got my boy Flygon Pentagon Jr. I'm excited to use Terra Flygon. I've always wanted to use Terra Flygon. This mon has been... I love it. I'm a huge Gen 3 stan. Gen 3 all the way. It's my favorite generation. Flygon's always been there. He's been cool. He's Garchomp at home, but he's my Garchomp at home, if you know what I mean. Okay. Stats are not bad. They're not terrible, but they're not bad. 100 base speed is fantastic. 100 base attack is pretty decent. 80 across the board. It's not crazy. It's thankfully it ain't no Glalie. Glalie, that motherfucker's 80 across the board, and he sucks. But we do have Levitate in his ability, which is awesome, and that's why we'll be taking advantage of our Terra types. And we got 3 Terra typings, and we chose Dragon, we chose Steel, and we chose Electric. And what's fantastic about, being Electric, handles those water types very nicely, and that gives us no weaknesses, which is fantastic. Steel type, we're also gonna be immune to ground type attacks, so gets rid of 1 weakness and lets us deal with a dragon type move coming into us and any steel type, any fairy types that go against us, and a dragon type just for stab. I saw some other Terra Flygons going for Terra ground, and I thought, yeah, that makes sense, but I thought that dragon just to have that extra oomph. You can run Flygon mixed, so let's say it's got Boom Burst, so you can run a Throat Spray with that, make a mix. It finally gets D-Dance, which is fucking amazing, so we'll be running probably some good physical sets for that. Earthquake, Earth Power, I mean, it gets, again, a lot of decent coverage and a lot of decent mix with that. First Impression for priority, which is always nice, a lot of decent fire type moves. We get Psychic Noise, which is not nice, slow psychic coverage there. Quick Attack for priority as well. Scorching Sands, which is nice. Another Stealth Rocker, for example. Tailwind, U-Turn, it's fantastic. Flygon does what it needs to do. Dragon Dance plus Terra, whatever, or those 3 Terra typings will give us some good coverage and give us some good resistances as well. Very excited to use this as a Terramon, but it is not our only one, which you'll see for later. Next up, we got Join the Dark Order, the homie Tentacruel. Clear Body, fantastic ability. Clear Body, along with Liquid Ooze and Randish. We'll most likely just be sticking with Clear Body just so our stats don't get lower. Tentacruel's awesome. Gives us a grounded poison type, which I wanted, so we can stock up. Pause. Any toxic spikes on the other opponent's team, and it gets spikes of its own, which is nice. It also gets toxic, hallelujah, because it seems like only so many Pokemon this generation gets toxic. Again, like I said, toxic spikes as well. Another rapid spinner, which is fantastic. Knockoff, but it's mostly known for being a special attacker. But it gives us a Pokemon with fantastic special bulk, being 120 in special defense, 80 in HP, and 100 base attack as well, which is awesome. I feel like our speed stats, this roster is fairly decent, and I want to keep it that way. For a lot of other teams, I've been having it very slow. For different rosters, I should say, in different draft leagues, and I've learned that sucks, and I should not do that. And we want to keep it speedy, so that really helps with that. Again, great move selection, Chilling Water to lower an opponent's attack. Unfortunately, it doesn't get Scald. Only so many Pokemon of this generation get Scald, because if this thing got Scald, that'd be amazing. But if only, I still think with Rapid Spin, Spikes, Toxic, and Knockoff, and whatever we need, it's going to be a good special wall. Next up, we got Alolan Ninetales. Lady Frost is our next pick. Fantastic. I mean, it summons snow. We don't really have any Pokemon to take advantage of snow, except for one. You'll see later on, kind of. And by later on, I mean like the next pick. But fantastic speed, 109. Special defense, going back to special defense. Otherwise, other stats are not too great. But why it's so great is because of Aurora Veil. Add that with the Light Clay. We basically have Reflect and Light Screen for those 8 turns, all in one package, which is awesome. Very, very good. Gives us another fairy type, which is pretty good, and a nice ice type that will be super offensive if it needs to be with Calm Mind, and I think it also gets Nasty Plot too, so it's got some good setup. Baton Pass for momentum, Calm Mind, and like I said, for setup already, Dazzling Gleam, Draining Kiss, and Moonblast for stab, along with Freeze Ride to hit those water types, which is very, very nice. Ice Shard for priority as well. Pain Split to get some recovery back, or to get rid of some nasty opponents setting up. Triple Axle, which we probably never use, but it'll be funny to have it on there. A Store Power if we're setting up as well. This Mon is mainly to do one thing, summon Snow, and put Aurora Veil up, and that's what we needed to do. And I'm happy I finally get to use it. Next up, we got our second Terra Captain of the roster. We got Jolteon, we got Jolt Cabana, boom boom, Jolt Cabana, alright. And the Terras we have chosen is Electric, Flying, and Ice. Pretty good, pretty good. Because I wanted to take advantage of Volt Absorb if we're a Flying type, so that means we're not super, like, Electric types aren't super effective against us. And we'll be immune to Ground type moves, so gives us no immunities, which is awesome. Ice type to have that Bolt Beam combo, very, very important to have. So you got Terra, Blast, Ice, and then Thunder or Thunderbolt. It's awesome to have that coverage, which is very good. And then just Terra Electric just for stab, of course, because we don't have any other typing. 130 speed gives us such a good speed tier. 110 special attack is a fantastic special attack, and 95 special defense is pretty good. Rest of the stats are not great. We'll be using Volt Absorb most of the time, but we also have quick feet if we wanted to be a little more spicy. Otherwise, we could run a scarf on it, or agility, but we're fairly fast to begin with. I mostly got this for the meme because I think it was in, I forget which draft league it was in. It might have been in UNPL Academy, where Nova, the draft owner, lost to a Terra scarfed Jolteon, and I'm like, yeah, Jolteon would be a good Terra captain. I feel like all of the evolutions, besides maybe a couple, barring a few, are all fairly good Terra captains, and I'm interested to use Jolteon. Jolteon's been one of my favorite ones for a long time, so I'm excited to use it. Fantastic coverage and alluring voice. They've all got it recently. Calm Mind for setup, which is nice. It gets screens, which is good. Quick attack for priority. It gets roar. Shadow Ball for coverage. Sword power. It gets Thunder Wave, which is very, very nice. Trailblaze to raise our speed. Full switch for momentum. Wish to get some more recovery, which is awesome. And then just some good stab and Thunderbolts and Thunder and that sort. This will be our last Terramon of the draft, and I'm fairly excited to use those two. I think each of them will have a good amount of potential to do whatever the hell they want, and we can work around some good opponents with that. So yeah, I'm fairly happy with Flegon and Jolteon being our Terra captains. Next up, we have Incineroar. You can't see me, bro. Our Incineroar, rocking the Intimidate. What a godly ability. At this point, I wanted a Dark type, just in case if anyone has any Prankster abilities or like that. And at this point, just we can hit Psychic types and Ghost types a lot better than we would be able to, because otherwise we have a little bit of a problem with them. So just something that'd be super nice to work with. Its speed is not great. Every other stat is fairly decent though. HP, it's got a very good bulk for it being a fire and a dark type, surprisingly enough. And its attack is fantastic, but we're mostly using it as an intimidator. Come in against physical attacking mon and lower it down. But its moveset is amazing. Acrobatics if we're out of an item. Baton Pass for momentum. It's got a great setup in bulk up. We got great fighting stab for close combat. Darkest Lariat, which is fantastic. Signature move. It gets knock off, which is fantastic. Get rid of some items. Earthquake for ground coverage. We got Fake Out to flinch opponent melee. Good fire stab, of course. Iron Head to go for those steel types. We got Nasty Plot for some reason. I actually didn't know this thing got Nasty Plot. We got Outrage as well. But what makes this thing even better is Parting Shot. It's got a good priority, so it makes us be able to switch it out with momentum in the beginning and lowering the opponent's special attack and physical attack by 1, which is a fantastic move. Shadow Claw for coverage as well with Roar, which is nice. Substitute Sword Stance for fantastic setup. U-Turn for momentum. Trailblaze to raise our speed. Will-O-Wisp to burn an opponent and hinder their attack more. And Thunder Punch for nice electric coverage. Well, this thing has fantastic coverage on it. It gets what it needs. It is a little slow, but in terms of neutralizing the opponent, it does it well. I'm very excited to use Incineroar. He's been... I love this Pokemon so much. He's fantastic in VGC. A little less in singles. I was debating him, maybe making him a Terra captain, but I thought the other two might have a little better chances of making use of their typings. Next up, we got the Royal Brumble. Originally, I named him the Ghast Ride off the Undertaker, but I thought the Royal Brumble was better, based off the Royal Rumble. We got Brambleghast, Wind Rider, also with Infiltrator, 2 fantastic abilities. Since we got a few Pokemon that learn Tailwind, we can take advantage of that to boost our speed up, and also boost our attack up with Wind Rider. Otherwise, we got Infiltrator to hit Pokemon behind Safeguard, Light Screens, Reflect, and Aurora Veil, which is fantastic. And if they're behind Substitute as well, we can take advantage of that. It's good. It's I mean, its stats aren't fantastic, but with setup and everything, it could work well. I've seen Terra Brambleghast work really well, but with 115 attack, it's a good physical attacker. What's nice is that we wanted this to be a spin blocker, and so it's a ghost type, and I think this is our first grass type as well, so that's nice to have that grass type on there. It does know rapid spin to get rid of hazards, which is fantastic, and otherwise it's Leech Seed's pretty good to have. Pain Split for recovery, Poltergeist, and you'll find Power Up and Seed Bomb will be mainly our stabs. Again, spin blocker, it spins as well, it gets set up. It's got String Stab for some fantastic recovery. It lays down spikes, Shadow Sneak for priority, Trailblaze to boost up speed. This is decent. And it learns fucking... Does it learn screens? No, hold on. No, I'm just tripping. It doesn't learn screens, but what if it did? Like, I need any more screens users at this point. Yeah, I just wanted this mainly for the spin blocker, and for it to be to have a ghost and a grass type, to have those stabs, just in case of any more psychic type users or water users come our way, because we do struggle with water just a little bit, and ghost to have those to solve all the psychic Pokemon issues that we talked about earlier. Next up, we got Bronzong, we got Bronze Breaker, based off Bron Breaker, with Levitate and Heat Proof. Both very good abilities, depending on who we'll go up against. We'll bring either one of the two. Levitate will be, I'd say, probably a lot better because we'll be immune to ground type moves, while Heat Proof just makes us fire type moves not super effective against us. Stats are middling, besides its defense and special defense. Fantastic bulk in that sense. We'll be able to take a couple hits, which is nice. And since if we want to take advantage of our slower team, like a slower Mons speed sets, this will most likely be our main Trick Rumor, but otherwise it gets very good moves. Another Stealth Rocker, which is fantastic. Ice Spinner to get rid of any terrain that could be used. Combine for setup, Expanding Force if anyone brings Psychic terrain, but will most likely just be using Psychic, Extra Sentry, Side Shock, that sort of stuff. Future Sight, which is fantastic. Flash Cannon for stab. Grass Knot for those grass types we're talking about, or ground types that might go against us. Charge Ball as well, because we're so slow. The power would be very good. We do have Body Press, and we can align that with Iron Defense. It gets screens, which is fantastic. Nightshade for consistent damage. It gets got some good rock coverage as well. Like I said, Stealth Rocks for no more hazards. And Trick Room and Trick for that, respectively. Trick if, let's say, if we wanted to get rid of an item of ours that maybe won't help us too much, or get an item of our opponents that will help us or hinder them even better. And block to even block, I guess, in a way to prevent the opponent from switching out. This Pokemon's great. Just gives us another Stealth Rocker, immunity to ground, which is fantastic because we do have a few Pokemon that are quite weak to ground, as you see, so the more the merrier, other than Corviknight and Flygon, which is nice, and gives us some more resistance to fire type moves, because we do have a couple Pokemon that are weak to fire type as well. Next up, we have, last but not least, Skunk Tank. We got Shotzi Blackheart from WWE, of course. I wanted another Dark type and Poison type, just in case if we didn't want to bring a Tentacruel. We can have Skunk Tank come in to absorb those Toxic Spikes and have a nice Dark typing to hit really, really nicely. Psychic Pokemon fear this Pokemon with the Poison Dark type. It's awesome. Stench is a fantastic ability. This Pokemon attacks with a chance to gain an extra 10% chance to flinch, which is awesome. Gives us more hacks opportunity. That's what we like to see. Otherwise, Aftermath's not too bad. If a Pokemon is low on their side and they KO us, then with a contact move, then they'll be taking the damage and hopefully chipping down their HP, or we'll be getting rid of them fully. Stats are not crazy. Its bulk is pretty decent with 103 HP. Speed is not terrible in 84, and it'll be most likely a physical attacker. But we're using it more for its move pool and its diversity. Explosion is good, just in case if we want to just sack ourselves and get some extra chip in. Foul Play is very good if we're up against Pokemon with a lot better physical attack than us. Gunk Shot for fantastic stab. It's got good fire coverage as well. Haze to get rid of all stats on the field if someone's setting up. Knock Off to get rid of opponent's item and its stab. Memento if we want to just basically hinder our opponents and we don't have too much HP yet left, or if we want to just make it like a sacrificial lamb in a way. Play Rough with good fairy coverage. Nasty Plot if we want to do a more special set, which we could do because Skunk Tank has a good special move pool as well. Or to get rid of Pokemon, Shadow Ball and Shadow Claw respectively for those Psychic types and Ghost types. Fantastic poison coverage as we talked about earlier. Sucker Punch for priority and a nice 50-50 mix-ups. Super Fang just to get rid of opponent's HP in half. Taunt, we talked about earlier, another Toxic user and a Toxic Spike user, which is awesome. Adds more hazards and more Toxic diversity, and Trailblaze to raise our speed. Overall, I feel very good about this team. I feel like this team overall will treat me well, and I will treat it well. And yeah, I'm feeling very good about it. It's definitely, I've been told, a cancerous team. a very toxic Cancers team, which is, you know what? That's what we want, baby. That's how winners are born, and we're gonna win this season because we were #1 of the draft, and in my heart, that makes me #1 already. But we'll be up against some good friends of mine, so I just gotta take them down. Easy. It's easy as that, baby. And for week 1, we're starting against Frosty Random, who's also has a fantastic team and is a fantastic battler himself, and he also helped the previous SBL champion in Uzi Gunner, so he knows his shit. Definitely more than I do, but another good friend of mine, and I feel like we're gonna have a fantastic battle. Twice in a lifetime, baby. Twice in a lifetime. Rock versus Cena. That's just us, baby. We're just the goats. But thank you guys for watching this draft analysis. Hopefully you enjoyed the Pokemon I chose, and hopefully you enjoy all the battles that we win, because we're going to go on a streak, baby, and it ain't going to end. Unless we lose the first game, then it's, you know, then it gets a little tight. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoy all the battles to come, and hopefully we win this league, because I know we can. We can do it. Otherwise, Oski Weeby, Oski Wawa, Holy Machina, Torracats, eat him raw. Thank you for watching.